So they're about to kick this off already.
Mr. McCat goes first.
Mr. McCat.
Excuse me for just a second.
And he bought a Forge.
Oh, Forge is so good.
Yeah.
Alrighty, let's see. We have one.
So the Forge that he purchased has energized. Action dice cost you 2 less to purchase.
Ooh.
That.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
All right.
I could do that, but that's not.
I will purchase all my god catchers now. Thank you.
So out of the 22 teams we have submitted, I find it interesting that less than half of them are using either a Thor, a Godcatcher, or a Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm gonna spin that to a question.
When Joe was
Purchase
asking if the meta when we first went live was just those three,
Back to you.
I said that it wasn't they weren't the most popular. They weren't. There's some setup pieces that are more popular, but yeah, they're the more popular win cons.
They're the more popular, but again, they're not everywhere. So you know, I haven't
the
looked at
fact
all the
that most
individual
popular
teams.
piece is Clayface
Yeah.
is pretty wild, but at the same time, like Clayface is less prevalent than Professor X was.
Yeah.
Yes.
True. Oh, wow.
Yeah, but also Black Widow being the most popular character that's going to be used, because Clayface, it's pretty much there for the global. You know, not many people are planning on actually purchasing it. You know, but Black Widow and Typhoid Mary being there as the top characters, with showing up on 10 teams each.
And Drax.
With Drax, you're right. Yeah.
But it also
Sorry,
kind of points
there was the
to
basic action that I missed there.
if you started your team build with Clayface, Black Widow, Typhoid Mary, Villainous Pact, and Drax, you have a lot of wiggle room from there.
Yeah.
And so I
Totally.
think on one hand people could argue like, oh, it stifles creativity because the teams are so similar, but your win condition defines your team in a really important way, and so that's going to be pretty different.
Right.
All right. What do I want to do?
Yeah, it just shows people are trying to use a little bit more control.
Yeah. Well, because I think most people who care enough to play online, which is a little less convenient than showing up to your local store, are probably of the skill level that they think if they can elongate the game, they can flex their skill over their opponent and eke out that advantage over time.
Yeah, sorry, I was taking a quick drink there real fast, but when I did play competitively, you know, control or direct damage were my two preferred methods, and especially if I could combine them. You
did
know,
villain
direct
control.
damage control team.
You did villain control with Collector. Come on.
Oh no, I also did Villainous Pact, or not Villainous Pact, the Vicious Struggle team.
Oh.
You know, I was one of the degenerates. I admit it. You know.
I hear it. I heard it in that O.
You know, I was a Gabi,
legit though.
you know, a Gabi, player. I did Gabi for my first WKO I ever went to. You know, but yeah, it's you know, I'm a fan of the control element. You know, returning back and being kind of the cornerstone of most teams.
Yeah, the chess match is what I really enjoyed when I played.
And much like any villain, Ryan started his thing of vicious struggle with good intentions.
Yeah, I actually
good intentions with vicious struggle.
Actually, no, there was you know, the scene that I played at Doc's Comics and Games at the time. We were gearing up, and there was probably 8 or 9 of us that were planning on going to the WKO, and this was during the time where the Vicious Struggle team was one of the prevalent teams. And so I decided I was going to play it against everyone so they could figure out their teams and figure out how to play it. And, you know, in the background, I was working on other teams that I wanted to play and learning from the teams they were playing and whatnot. And after about 3 weeks of nonstop playing that team against them, I had so many reps on this. It was one of those, this is silly. This is just going to be the team I'm going to play.
Oh, and like, how
Yeah.
do you talk yourself out of it at that point? You're like, I've got the
Exactly.
practice in. I know what I'm doing. I've had some success.
I could literally run that team in my sleep at that point. You know, I literally had the 1,000 games with that team in by the end of that.
Like I said, every villain has a thing where they start out where it's like good intentions.
Yeah, it was with the best of intentions, you know. So
Forge just came up energy, guys.
Oh.
Energized side. So
Nice.
that's a $2 off that Godcatcher there. And Troy's already getting prepped for those Godcatchers to come out. He got the Gazer purchased a turn ago.
I mean, Gazer's really good, and it got catcher meta.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's gonna have the Gazer come out next turn when there's not any Godcatchers present. So,
Oh well, that's just like your opinion, man. Oh wait, that's a fact. Never mind.
Yeah.
Is he making you make choices again?
I know, you keep doing this to me. Right, I'll spin that down to a question mark. I think I'm going on a shop.
And Troy is one of the OG putting on tournaments online. He walked so we could run type of situations. So definitely appreciate everything Troy's done for the community and bots and whatnot.
yeah,
definitely.
the work he's put in on the bot in the last couple of weeks to help be able to support these multiple tournaments simultaneously, you know, is a great benefit to all of us in the community for online games. So,
oh my gosh. And then a Ferris broadcast.
I mean,
So
he
many
literally
dice.
was troubleshooting the bot in between rounds after he
When
finished
you have
his
the
matchup.
opportunity.
Yeah, he said he was going on a shopping spree, and he really did.
That's not the worst.
That Grill has deadly. Okay, so that's not that bad.
So Parallax, is that making a comeback?
Do you really think that's good for everybody?
It's
I
good for
enjoy
me.
That's about the same level of question as is imprisoned going to come back? You know,
I think that there's something to be said that it's interesting to get to reroll your dice and for there to be a meaningful cost. I'm not convinced that the cost was meaningful on Parallax, but I also think that it kind of gave the good players a chance, a get out of jail free card sometimes
Yeah.
against less experienced players, and they didn't need it. Like, there's a huge advantage to just being good at Dice Masters because your entire team shows up in front of you to begin the game with.
Yeah.
You can have a bad draw out of your bag, but that's something you can manage for. You can get bad rolls, but again, it's something you can mitigate against. There's no like, whoops, I just didn't get, my Typhoid Mary this game. It's like, nah, you get there.
Yeah.
there, if I get this perfect roll this turn, I can win. And so you start going down that path of trying to get that perfect roll is not really the game we're trying to play.
Right.
Yeah.
I think a Sarac was a step in the right direction for a fair kind of Parallax.
Spin this down.
Yeah.
I wish it was more than just action dice that he could do, but
You're a
you know,
degenerate.
I like the. I think I like the limiting it to once per turn.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because that was really fair about it.
I mean, action dice sort of needed the help though.
Yeah.
They did definitely
Scarlet
need the
Witch
help,
being out
especially
there.
with
Oh, yeah.
Scarlet Witch and
Scarlet
things
Witch
like
was
that
so
in the meta
brutal.
at the time. So I understood the limit there, but again, it's one of those. It'd be nice to see something of maybe a pay to reroll as much as you want once per turn. Or something along those lines. I think would be
Typhoid Mary.
interesting. I don't think it'd have the same impact to the meta like Parallax or the Sarac themselves did.
All right. And then my turn.
But yeah, as Chris said, I'm also a little bit of a degenerate player, so take that with the same grain of salt there.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So the full control's coming out for Mr. McCat, so he's in a little bit of a pickle.
I mean, he's
A
definitely-
dilly of a pickle. I mean, Mr. McCat has so many things in his bag. Who knows what's coming out?
Truly.
And I just have to wonder. I know it's still early in the morning, but do you think Troy is sitting here playing with, while eating an ice cream cone?
That and like 2 kids hanging off of him, yeah, probably.
Potentially, yeah. The question is,
And it's still one of the funnier moments from Worlds last year was seeing Troy playing on stream while eating an ice cream cone.
okay, that doesn't help me yet.
He did not get anything he needed to roll,
Well,
right?
He didn't really. There was nothing there that it was useful to him.
Yeah.
The gazer doesn't help him at all. There's nothing really to intimidate out.
But you're going through your bag.
Doesn't need sidekick, so he just has to look to see what can he use or what can he buy that's going to help him against those god catchers.
Sometimes you just gotta look yourself in the mirror and be like, what do I do?
So doubling down on the Black Widow, trying to get towards his win con.
I just... Is it a time to try to go for more control? Because he's got to go to control here, I think.
Question mark.
And try to do... I just doubled down on Gazers, perhaps.
Grell's probably.
Yeah, Gazer
Yeah.
and Grells, yeah.
Throw him out there with that deadly on there, then be able to knock them out.
Yeah.
It's a lot of dice.
Because he's a little... I mean, the only thing he's got on his side is Mr. McCat
Oh.
is...
Mr. McCat just rolled a god catcher, and he has 2 actions.
I was going to say he's upside down in his bag, but that's just not the case anymore.
No.
He
Oh,
has
Got a
both god
second one.
catchers.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, only one can get through. He only has 1 under surveillance.
Ooh.
That's 10.
But he did bring a party
Oh, field a god
of god catchers.
Nefarious broadcast to create the god catcher.
Well, the suckiest thing is that all goes to waste then, because this is just sitting there. So I can't ramp or anything. That's the worst part.
Then I'll field, so he goes to used. Then I'll field a god catcher, and then I'll make him unblockable with thingy.
The
which is to
thingy.
Use, and I'll use this nice token.
Get this other one out.
Yep.
And there's no point in me attacking with more than one.
And there's no way since he nefarious broadcast.
Yeah, I think so. And then I'll attack with an unblockable.
And there it goes.
Yeah, that was bad.
All right, Troy's down to
That's
10.
10 points fast. That's half your life. We're just right
Yep.
there. Fast.
Well, yeah, but I should have known that been prepared.
Well, and
for various broadcasts.
real fast, I just want to point out, if we take a look at Mr. McCat's mat, it's the Gaming versus Cancer mat from last year, which is a good reminder that the next major event that we've got coming up is the MOD Gaming versus Cancer coming up in November 28th.
Alright, but you do have one
And
more.
the
And
dice
another
social.
reminder, the dice social coming up. Another reminder with gamers versus cancer is we have any proceeds that we have or left over from shipping, all the prize support that we have here will be donated directly to that charity. So,
Yep.
teaming up there with the MOD guys to get that taken care of. And unfortunately, last turn,
Danny?
Troy saved a lot of energy to do a lot of things, and then he couldn't.
Right.
So
So
he
that nefarious
basically
broadcast, yeah.
had to eat 6 dice.
The worst.
Was it in
Just
his
sit there, watch
diet,
it go,
though?
Never mind.
No, it was not in a cone, so he did not enjoy it.
No, it was not tasty.
We don't know he doesn't have a cone for those dice, okay?
That's true.
At this
It's
point, it's
kind of
probably a
surprising we haven't had an
crate for
ice
it.
cream cone die of some kind yet.
We need one.
Yeah, we definitely need one. If we're talking here,
Is there a
ice cream is a
character that
passion
really
of mine.
loves
We need
ice
one.
cream? Custom card coming. Ice cream cone.
Not really.
The next Mr. Fix-It needs to have an ice cream cone.
I mean, we do have the absorbing Marin Harold's ice cream. That's the closest thing, I think.
You cannot force a reroll on a god catcher token. It's not a die. So you can't force it to reroll. You can intimidate it out. You cannot force it to reroll. Sorry, that was a question from Twitch chat.
That's a fair question.
I mean,
Tokens cannot be forced to be re-rolled. So whether it's a god catcher, great drunkard, squirrel,
Plant.
chipmunk, plant,
Yep. And I found that
Guinevere,
out the
or
hard
not
way.
Guinevere, Guinevere. Trying
Once,
to remember all the other ones, but
Look at
that's
Ryan
currently all of
flexing
them.
his token knowledge.
yeah.
That's a weird flex, but okay.
What I like to do in situations where there's a token out and I can't do anything about it, I tell them, "Hey, look over there," and then just reach over and grab their token and throw it. That's what I do.
And then you're immediately disqualified. But he still does it.
It's satisfying. It's satisfying.
Yep.
Fair enough. I'll attack with a god catcher.
Yep. Block with a growl.
Oh sure.
And you can actually force a sidekick to block if you'd like. But...
It doesn't hurt. Yeah, go on then.
And that god catcher's gonna die.
Yeah, I can't see why I wouldn't.
Alright.
I think I probably would have waited for some under surveillance action.
His bag is so far upside down that it's gonna be a while. He might as well just clear out the board.
Yep. This
Yeah.
is gonna be a big mess.
Because otherwise,
He's got.
go ahead, Mike.
It says he's got one waiting in the field and stuff like that. So at this point, he's just go ahead and just wait to see what he starts grabbing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he doesn't want that to be. He needs something else to trigger the god catcher before he gets the nefarious broadcast.
It's true.
I mean, is there a force attack that we don't know?
There's a force block, that's it.
And god catcher himself is a force block also.
Yeah, but again, with Troy's main win con being the Black Widow pump, keeping the field thin is also
Yeah.
beneficial.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is
No, there's a
correct.
force attack with the Black Widow, right?
It's gonna be...
Oh, is there? I think so.
Yeah. So he I think he forced.
Force the god catcher
Force
to
the
attack.
god catcher to attack.
Oh my God, we're stupid. We did. I'm very, very, very stupid. I didn't see that Black Widow, and she's right there staring me in the face, looking me straight in the eye.
Alright.
Oh, he gets that Grell to come back up.
Good.
Oh,
Yeah, that force attack Black Widow with a Grell is a decent way to try to take down some of the god catchers.
Small,
take him down a peg or two.
tiny little Black Widow.
Yeah, because once they hit that deadly, they're not coming back. They're not going back to the field. They're not going to KO. They're just gone.
I got 3.
So he's got the Grell that way, and then Gazer as another way to take care of the god catchers.
3 broadcast, 2 surveillance.
Troy was ready for a god catcher meta.
Yeah, this is
And
just gonna be
it makes sense that you'd want to be.
Well, and then you think he's got Drax and Spider-Man to take care of Becky and Thor. So
Well, then I better...
Troy actually has the lowest cost team on average in the whole event.
Alright, your turn.
His average cost per is 2.7
Jeez.
across, for it, whereas the average is in the 3s, a couple up to
Wow,
in the 4s.
that's a lot of basic actions, and there's some under surveillance happening in there.
Oh,
He didn't get either one of them.
Sorry, I muted myself when I was getting my bits.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so we missed the woo! When you're...
Alright. So all he needs now is an under surveillance to roll, and he got it. That's game. He has a nefarious broadcast,
Sidekick, nefarious broadcast.
trips the god catcher.
Sorry.
Yep.
To create a god catcher.
Oh,
Yep. Under surveillance.
Yep,
there it is.
Priority and push through.
all right.
all you needed. Just 2.
Mr McCat.
That's going to wrap things up for us here in the CR Game Room. Check out our website, crgr.rocks, for all our latest info. There you'll find a link to help support us via Patreon. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Join our conversations on Discord. Be sure to like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for hanging out.